So part 6 of Dear Abby, excuse me. Keith asks, how many tacos do you think it would take to fill up the Empire State Building? I'm not sure. Is Gurr around? Because, I like tacos. Leroy Jenkins asks, will you answer questions about your boobs? Are you sick of comments about your boobs? I'm going to make a video about this, so I'm not answering right now. Where do you make videos? I make them in my house, without a mouse, in a box with a fox. No, I normally would do them in my study or like here at the bar. Eric, what does it take to make a person happy? What does it take to make someone happy for themselves instead of just enjoying it through other people? Ooh, deep. I think to make a person happy, you can't really make anybody happy. You can contribute to their happiness, but true happiness for someone has to come from here, from their heart, from who they are. And I think if they are having questions about this, it's something you should consult a therapist about. And I say that just because, having someone unbiased you can talk to about your life that can give you insight can sometimes be helpful. Let's see. Dear Abby, asked Steve, if you could change one thing about human nature, what would it be? The immediate ability to be unkind. Sometimes, and I struggle with this myself, you can be very unkind to others because you're having a bad day or something they said just rubbed you the wrong way. And I think if we could take that away, we might have a lot more kindness in this world. Shane asks, what made you decide to cosplay, or have you always wanted to cosplay? I covered this earlier. I needed a creative outlet after theater, and I've always been a geek girl, so here I am. Tony asks, Dear Abby, what are some good websites one can go to find resources for just getting started making cosplay costumes for beginners? The Replica Prop Forum, YouTube, some individual prop makers and costume makers post up tutorials. I know Kamui Cosplay does that. Those are great resources, and a lot of things can be ordered online if you are from a small town, like you mentioned in your comment. Amazon is great for that, and you can get free shipping. Tommy, will you ever do a Cortana cosplay? I will. Jonathan, what is the meaning of life? It is to live it. Roy, what is the greatest fan reaction you've ever encountered? I don't know. I think it has to be RJ. When I first did an interview with him, I mean, he totally flailed and everything, and I was like, dude, it's just me. Just little me. It's okay. I'm not gonna, fart on you or anything. Well, I might do that, but, yeah. Aaron asks, if we were on a deserted island, what weapon, tool, or item would you want to have? One item only. Tool would I want to have? I agree with you. I would go with a lightsaber, just because you could cut things down with it. You could start fires with it. Probably be, a good thing. Matthew, what's the hardest cosplay to make, or the one that took you the longest? The hardest one, I think, to date has been probably my Satil Sean, and we actually had the leathers mostly done by, all done by, my brain is leaving me, I can't even think about it. Twisted World. There we go. Twisted World did the leathers on it, but it was getting the parts accurate, trying to create things that didn't exist in a 3D world, and we're still working on it, which is why Satil hasn't been out since, because I want to redo her gloves, redo different armor bits, and plus my lightsaber's been being made by an awesome lightsaber maker, so I've been waiting for that. Ronald, what would be your ideal cosplay project to do? Okay, I've already answered this. John, it would good to see an expert do a Star Trek series of characters. I mean you. Well, I actually have done Deanna Troi. I've done an original series, and I did my own version of what was her name? Tasha Yar, 1 year. Joseph, do you have any input about decent con-fan photography etiquette? My advice to photographers is to always ask prior to taking a photo, unless it's, I'm not saying you always have to ask, but, may I take a photo? It's just polite. It's like if I was to walk up to somebody and be like, hey, what's up? And, get in their face. You kind of just want that acknowledgement. Say, hey, how are you? What's going on? You wouldn't just like be like here, which it can kind of sometimes feel like with the camera flashes going off and you don't know what's going on, you don't know where to look. So I think just having that, hey, can I take a picture? It's really nice. And meeting the cosplayer, you know, I've met a lot of great photographers. They're like, hey, Abby, I'm so and so, and I'm like, hey, I've seen your pictures, awesome. And building a repertoire with them, because that makes for a lot of comfortable photos between two parties. Let's see, Dwayne Morris asked me Star Wars, Star Trek, both, favorite old school cartoon, Rainbow Bright, then Transformers, and Cammy from Street Fighter in 2014, who knows, maybe. Bill, can a piranha live in cold water? I doubt it, because they're from the Amazon, which is brackish water, semi-warm, since it's past the equator, isn't it? I'm not sure, I'd have to check that. Let's see. Jeremy, have you played Dungeons and Dragons? I have not played Dungeons and Dragons. And let's see, Chris, how do you feel about photographers just starting out in cosplay communities? Do you think it is easier or harder for them to make a name for themselves in a positive way, or would they be one of the nameless men and women in a sea of convention attendees? I think that any person starting out in the cosplay community, whether photographer or cosplayer, needs to be able to build a relationship and network and say, hi, I'm, like you said, Chris, I'm Chris. I do photography. Here's an example of my portfolio. Just like just put yourself out there and get to know people, because that's the only way you're going to establish yourself in a positive way. Be positive, be communicative, don't be dramatic, and I think it'll work out well. So that's all the questions. Yes. And I'm going to go do my 2 special videos for you guys now. Thanks, guys.